If it's Ortiz, it'll be, it could be a phone booth fight. Two good body punches. Two confident guys, two guys with great heart.
Everybody knows that like Boots said, it's time for him. Everybody wants to see Boots against a real opponent. Vergil, you're peaked right now. You're the best option to make us, to let us figure out.
We have not seen Boots in game growing. We have for Vergil.
Yeah.
We've seen Vergil become a better version of himself.
Yeah.
We've seen Boots be an amazing version of himself over and over and over and over and over. You know? And I think that there comes a time where amazing becomes magnificent. And I think he has the ability to become magnificent.
With a potential Boots Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz Jr. showdown shaping up as a must-see fight, Teddy Atlas explains why it could turn into a war. Atlas points to Ortiz's ability to use his legs, box, and show a dimension beyond his knockout power.
Showed me a few fights ago that he had a dimension I didn't know he had. When he was just, going through guys, knocking them out with body shots, sinking and destroying. I don't think I knew or anyone knew that he had the ability to use his legs and box and do some boxing. He showed me that dimension. He showed me that dimension in that fight that some people thought he lost. First fight that he got tested. We didn't get a knockout with
Sergey Bohachuk.
There it is. I wanted you to say his name. I just wanted you to say. And he showed me that he could box. He could use his legs, and matador fight.
According to Roy Jones Jr., there's only one fight that makes sense for Boots Ennis right now, Vergil Ortiz Jr. He believes they're two undefeated fighters in their prime and says this is the matchup boxing fans need to see.
All the answers that we want to know about Boots Ennis. And you're going to go say about Earl Spence and somebody else? We don't want to hear that. I definitely don't want to hear that. You told us on national TV after the fight that you wanted to do exactly what that man said. That man told you, well, that's what I want to see. I don't want to see you do nothing else right now. You can come back and go to Earl later. You can come back and go to Crawford later if Crawford chooses to do that. But what I want to see right now is the two best dream middleweights on the horizon fight. It's two undefeated guys who are equal. Don't run from that smoke, bruh. Don't run from that smoke. Let's make that happen.
To get the answers they're looking for, Sean Porter also believes Boots Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz Jr. could be a fascinating matchup. While Boots has the athleticism, speed, and power, Porter points to Ortiz's discipline and sharp fundamentals as the qualities that could make the difference when the two finally meet.
Get to a point where you have to be more disciplined. And I think that that's something that Boots lacks. My dad was drilling so much into me. One of the things that always resonated, or that I remember him always saying, that to me resonates with me as I comment on Boots. My dad would tell me, it can't always be just athleticism. You're not going to always be able to win on athleticism. You're not going to always be able to win with just speed. You're not going to always be able to win with just power. We have to be able to mix it all up so that you have whatever you need at any point in time. And I think that we're looking at a Vergil who's very disciplined. And while he, compared to Boots, looks basic, his basic style, his basic package is very sharp.
Meanwhile, as for Vergil Ortiz, Boots Ennis knows it's a fight the boxing world wants to see. He believes the matchup is already clear to everyone, but says he'll handle each opponent one by one as he targets undisputed status at 154.
Wants to see you fight Ortiz.
We're gonna get them all. One by one. Whatever is next. We're gonna talk to my team and figure out what's best and what's next. And like I said, I'm here to take over this division, though. This is my division. This boxing game mine, and I will be undisputed at this weight division. Everybody gonna want to go see that. Like, they want to see how I match up against that. To be honest, everybody knew how me and Ortiz gonna go for sure. Like, it's like, I don't really, you know what I'm saying? I don't really gotta see too much. Like, we know what you're getting out of Ortiz. Like,
With the major title fights at 154 already starting to fall into place, Robert Garcia believes Boots Ennis and Vergil Ortiz Jr. should turn their attention toward each other. He feels the fight needs to happen already, especially with Ortiz pushing to become a full world champion, and most of the other title opportunities already tied up.
Would you like that next in the hearts of Vergil Ortiz for him to fight Boots Ennis?
Look, I think it's a fight that needs to happen. I think it's the fight that needs to happen already. You know, there is other big fights. You know, Vergil is definitely pushing and wants to be world champion. You know, it sucks to say it, but he's the best 154 pounder, and he's not a world champion, a full world champion yet. That would be the best if we were to get a world title opportunity like a Fundora, but Fundora's already locked in with Thurman, or Sanders Sayas, who is already locked in. You know, I believe the IBF is also locked in with
Mertazalev against Josh Kelly.
Kelly. So I think what else is out there? You know, yeah, there is talk about other names.
Tim Bradley isn't giving Vergil Ortiz Jr. much of a chance against Boots Ennis. He respects Ortiz's talent and precision, but says Boots is a completely different animal, with power, speed, counterpunching, and the ability to fight effectively from either stance. For Bradley, that complete skill set gives Boots everything he needs to overwhelm Ortiz.
Boots is going to beat Ortiz, and he's going to beat him. It's gonna be bad. I'm just letting y'all know. Some of y'all see that victory he put on, and you know, Ortiz, and he looked spectacular, and he did it against a quality opponent. However, Boots is a different type of animal, man. You know, this guy can be on his front foot, he can be on his back foot. This guy got punching power, hand speed. He got a ton of skill, counter punching ability. I mean, Boots, all the tools in the world to give a guy like Ortiz, who is talented. Don't get me wrong, Ortiz is talented, man. He goes about his way inside that ring, and you can see how calculated and precise he is when he's inside that ring, man.
Looking ahead to Boots Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz Jr., Greg Hackett says the biggest question is which version of Boots will show up. He wonders how Ortiz would respond if he could put Boots in that same kind of adversity, but knows there's only one way to find out. His message to Boots is clear: stay patient, keep those hands up, and create space when necessary.
Boots versus Vergil, how would that fight go?
That's the thing. I don't know, because I feel like you get different versions of Boots depending on who he's fighting.
Right.
But I'm not gonna lie, if Vergil might have been able to do a little more if he got Boots buzzed like that. You know what I mean? Because he throw a tighter shot. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, because we gotta wait and see. That's some shit we gotta see. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what adjustments can he make? Boots make for his next fight, given the fact that this is the first time we see Boots really face adversity in such a way.
I mean, take your time and keep them hands up. Take your time, keep them hands up, and also take a step back sometimes.
Despite Vergil Ortiz Jr.'s confidence, Kenny Ellis doesn't see him putting Boots Ennis to sleep. He expects Ortiz to start faster and bring even more pressure than Xander Zayas, but that aggression could leave him open. Since Ortiz naturally comes forward, Ellis feels Boots won't have to chase him down. He'll have plenty of chances to land the shots that could change the fight.
Right, Vergil Ortiz said that he would sleep Boots, and he felt like Xander Zayas was a quitter.
He got a right to his opinion, but I don't think he'll sleep Boots. I don't think he'll sleep Boots. Good fight, though.
Do you think he puts a better fight than Zayas?
I think he'll start faster, but get caught earlier. He got more. He
can stop faster.
He bring more pressure than Xander. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know if he's gonna get stopped faster, but I think he'll get stopped. Boots don't have to look for him. He's gonna be right there for Boots. He don't know no other way but forward. You know what I'm saying?
Boots will box him until he catch him.
Paulie Malignaggi says Boots Ennis may not have reached his full potential yet, but he's already done enough to establish himself among boxing's best. He points to Vergil Ortiz Jr. as one of the big fights still out there, though Ortiz is currently sidelined. If Boots keeps his titles and Ortiz makes his return, Paulie sees a blockbuster world championship fight waiting to happen.
We still may not have seen the best of Jaron Ennis, but we've seen enough to know that, at least in my opinion, he's on the pound-for-pound list, and there's going to be a lot more fun possible fights for him. Hopefully now he can get all the big fights and he can get all the big names. You know, I know Vergil Ortiz is being mentioned, but right now Vergil Ortiz is on the bench in a contract dispute with Golden Boy that may or may not last a while, but hopefully there can come a point where Jaron Ennis and Vergil Ortiz can't fight each other, because that would be a blockbuster fight. And guess what? Now that could be for a world title. That was one of my gripes about that fight when they were going to make it before, that it wouldn't have been for a world title. If Vergil Ortiz comes back and if Jaron Ennis holds on to these belts, that fight becomes a world championship fight, which I think gives it even more meritocracy, and it gives it the meritocracy that it does deserve.
Chris Algieri is leaning toward Vergil Ortiz Jr. as the matchup he wants for Boots Ennis, despite his personal connection with Vergil. He acknowledges Fundora may be the tougher puzzle, but says Boots has the kind of talent that can beat anybody. For Algieri, the biggest question is whether Ortiz's inactivity leaves him ready for a fighter like Boots.
To be fully transparent, Vergil's my guy. Okay. Vergil's my guy. I've known Robert Garcia a long time. He's been telling me about him for a long time. I know Vergil. I like Vergil. So it'd be hard to be unbiased. But Fundora is such a difficult puzzle. He's so long, and he's getting better. He's improving. He's improving. He's learning how to use his size. He's using his jab. He's being more disciplined. He's not taking risks like he used to. Vergil, the inactivity really worries me, because you got sharks circling. And Jaron, with the level of talent he has, he can beat anybody on any given night. So, yeah, it's a really interesting time.
When it comes to the toughest stylistic test for Boots Ennis, Breadman Edwards puts Vergil Ortiz Jr. at the top. He says Boots' longer punches could be vulnerable to Ortiz's short, compact combinations, especially in the mid-range where Boots likes to operate. With Ortiz staying tight and firing directly from position, any defensive lapses from Boots could become costly.
But I think stylistically, to me, the hardest fight for Boots is Vergil Ortiz. That's my honest opinion. Vergil Ortiz, Boots got them long, kind of like gangly arms, right? And sometimes he load up a little bit, and Vergil Ortiz punch short and compact, right in the mid-range on the inside, right where Boots like it. And in exchanges, Vergil Ortiz, I don't think he's as fast as Boots for like combinations of punches, but I do think that if Boots is throwing single shots, that Vergil's short, compact punches can get there. Because one thing Vergil don't play like Boots play. Boots sometimes put his hands down, he lean back, he do all kinds of stuff.
Roll the shots.
Yeah, Boots does a lot of stuff where Vergil kind of just stays in one place and just fires right from where he's at.
Mikey Garcia sees Vergil Ortiz Jr.'s power as the biggest difference in this matchup. He gives Boots Ennis full credit for his skills, but warns that Ortiz's recent performances have shown just how dangerous his power can be. If Boots gets caught by 1 or 2 clean shots, Mikey believes he'll feel it, and that could make this a very competitive fight.
You know Vergil, you know Boots, how does the fight go?
I think Vergil's power will be the difference. Boots has really good skills, can't deny that. Very, very talented fighter. But the power is very, very different. Once you're in the ring, he's strong, bro. You've seen him in his last 6 fights. And the power is just impressive. Boots gets caught with 1 or 2 of those shots, and it's gonna hurt him. I don't think it's gonna be an easy fight, though. I think Boots he's got the skills to be, very, very good and competitive, and have some really good rounds. But I think Vergil's power will be the difference. He's too big, too strong.
Lonnie B is leaning toward Vergil Ortiz Jr. because he knows firsthand what makes a boxer difficult to deal with. He points to Ortiz's tight defense, high guard, and disciplined pressure, saying he doesn't give opponents the mistakes they usually rely on. And as the rounds go on, Ortiz only gets stronger while making adjustments behind his pressure.
One thing about Vergil, why I'm leaning more towards Vergil, I'm a boxer, so I know what gives boxers trouble. And that style Vergil Ortiz got is going to give any boxer trouble because he's hard to hit. His hands, the one thing about boxers, we go off instinct and reflexes most of the time. Like, and we bank off you doing stuff wrong, like walking me down with your feet too close to each other, you know, using feint, your hands down, you not moving your head enough. That's the stuff that we bank on. Vergil Ortiz does everything perfect that gives a boxer hell. Like the way he walk you down, the way he keep his hands up, the way how he gets stronger as the rounds go on, how he's not just a come forward fighter. He makes adjustments coming forward.
Coach Reg is not holding back when it comes to the Boots Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz Jr. situation. He questions why the fight keeps getting pushed aside, arguing that if everyone says Boots needs an elite name on his resume, then Ortiz is exactly the opponent he should be fighting now. He also warns that delaying the matchup could only lead to more excuses if Ortiz eventually loses to someone else.
Then now y'all trying to reroute and say, let Boots fight Charlo and then he fights Spence. No, why not let that happen? All of y'all keep saying Boots got no elite fighters on his resume, so then make the fight happen. Stop trying to reroute and go different places so you can fight this person and fight that person. Because at the end of the day, let's just hypothetically say Errol Spence beat Ortiz. Is Boots gonna fight Ortiz? And then what they gonna say? Oh, he should have fought him before he fought Spence. Come on. Everybody that Boots fight, he gets no credit for.
Sean Zittel believes Boots Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz Jr. has all the ingredients for an explosive fight, especially with Boots' dangerous body punching. He sees Ortiz's hand speed and tight, technically sound style, allowing him to compete in the exchanges. But Zittel says Boots' athleticism could take over if he gets into a rhythm, with his jab and discipline playing a major role in controlling the fight.
One thing that interests me in this fight would be his body punching. I think Boots is a nasty body puncher, and he'll hit you from different angles with both hands and both stances. Vergil is the come forward Mexican-American fighter with the high guard. Maybe it's here when he's up here. Boots is a nasty body puncher. I'll tell you what, man, that's gonna be a very exciting fight, a very explosive fight. Vergil has the hand speed to compete with Boots in the exchanges the way other fighters he's fought haven't. He's keeps everything tight and come back and technically sound. But Boots, if he could take the power well and get into a rhythm in that fight, he starts hitting from both sides of the plate everywhere. That athleticism is a problem. The jab is going to be key for him in that fight out of both stances. He's going to have to fight behind his jab and not just get to the bag of tricks early. He's going to have to...
With Boots Ennis and Vergil Ortiz Jr. potentially heading toward a major showdown, Eric Gomez sees a clear advantage for Boots outside the ring. He argues that Ortiz can't build his case by saying what he would have done against Boots, especially when he wasn't the one in there.
You could have fought him before he was a champion. But now that he had the performance he had, even though Vergil Ortiz came out and said, oh, if that had been me that hurt him, then I would have stopped him. It don't work like that. You don't get credit off of another man's work. You didn't do that, you're on the sideline. So yeah, for my take, Boots has leverage here now, being the champion, and his team and Eddie Hearn.
Sharing his thoughts on a potential showdown with Vergil Ortiz Jr., Bernie the Boxer sees Vergil Ortiz Jr. as a more dangerous version of Xander Zayas, especially with his compact style and sharper punch selection. He points to the moments when Boots Ennis was hurt as a sign of how competitive this fight could become, but feels that experience will ultimately help Boots prepare for Ortiz.
That I will sleep Jaron.
That's what Vergil said.
Yes.
Now, the thing, like I said, I think Vergil is a better version of that kid. And, I don't know how Boots gets away out of that. I think he's more compact. I think he has a better punch selection as well than Xander. And the way he got hurt in that third and fourth round, that caused room to see that that's going to be a hell of a fight. That's going to be a hell of a fight. But I think that helped Boots too, though. I think that helped him learn. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Coach Malachi says Boots Ennis enters a potential fight with Vergil Ortiz Jr. from a stronger position in the division. Boots is already a unified champion, despite having fewer fights at 154 than Ortiz. With Ortiz having spent more time at the weight but still chasing the titles, Malachi sees Boots holding the bigger advantage before they even step into the ring.
Now we have these hypothetical matches. Okay, well, if Boots, him and Vergil fight, A, B, C, and D is going to happen and whatever. This is the issue. Boots is in a better position now in the division. I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. He's a unified champion now. Vergil Ortiz has been at 154 pounds longer than Jaron Boots Ennis. I think Vergil Ortiz has had about maybe 4 fights, 4, maybe 5, somewhere up in there, at least 4, at 154, somewhere around that range, right? And Boots, this is his second fight, if I'm not mistaken.
With both men undefeated and now positioned among the biggest names at 154, the anticipation for Boots Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz Jr. continues to grow. The experts may disagree on who has the edge, but one thing is clear: this is the fight that could finally answer just how good Boots really is.